Hey guys, it's Angel. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at Black Square Simulations Caravan Analog Instrumentation Package. Now, yeah, we're at Friday Harbour rather than Orcas Island. That's a weird one, I realise, but so we're over here checking out this new interior add-on. I apologise if I sound a bit off today. I had a wisdom tooth out 3 days ago, so not perfect yet, but I wanted to review this for you guys to see whether you want to buy it. Now, I bought this with my own money, and I will tell you personally I'm on the fence, but leaning towards positive, and I'll explain why. Now, this package is an accurately modelled interior with full native animations, which is useful. It means good performance, high resolution textures, 4K, we've got PBR materials, and decent normal mapping, usual fluff we'd expect, and it uses the decal system to provide higher quality labels, which is what we'd like to see. Now, what does it give us? It gives us a enhanced instrument panel detail compared to the default one, in that we have analog instruments here rather than the G1000 suite, which does also allow us to use the TDI and PMS GTN 750 units, which is fantastic. Now, all the functions and controls are operational. Interior lighting, yokes can be hidden, things can be moved. It's a full operational interior. Now, originally this was meant to be out for about £30. It's come out for £21. And there is another one coming soon for the King Air, which is apparently meant to be £27, it's saying on Justflight's website. I think these prices are a little steep. And I'll tell you why, because I really think as we go and take a look inside, this is what we've got. Reminds me of the Coronado Caravan back in FSX. Now, obviously, doors won't open. This is just an interior. We don't have an exterior model for this, so unfortunately, it's the same. Realistically, it's just an interior. So, without this blowing away the bank, like I think we could have gotten a new Caravan exterior model with this interior, or at least modify the default one to some extent, give us opening doors, give us things like chocks and ground candy, things that would really add to the experience. Personal preference there. I think that would have added to the price tag, because for just an interior for a default exterior aircraft without those extra bits and pieces, to me, feels a little incomplete. Now, to caveat that, this is a wonderful rendition, and fantastically done as well. I really, really like it. But it just feels that that could polish it off the edge. Now, of course, we have all of our functions here, like flap actuators. We have, these don't move, unfortunately. The fan vents do move. Of course, we have our fuel tank selectors there. Oxygen supply does work and does deplete, which is cool. Obviously, we've got the sun visors, which are positionable. Not just, you know, click them, done. They actually are by our movement, which is nice to have that kind of... Oh, hello. There we go. Put you out of the way. Controllability. It just saddens me. Okay, we can actually open the storm windows at least. We'll find out in flight if that actually makes a difference to the sound. Obviously, can't open the door. Now, we do have full control of the breakers, which do function, and all of our systems here, of course. So, power's on. Let's make sure all our controls here are set as they should be. Now, my turboprop foo is not 100%, but I'm going to leave this cut off. And I'm going to bring this down to low. I'm going to leave this at ground idle. Now, again, we're still dealing with MSFS's dodgy turboprop behavior, which can make this a little jerky, like a lot of stock turboprops are, which is unfortunate. But there is meant to be a panel on here, and I'm still trying to locate where that is, that allows us to change some of these radio configurations. Okay. So we have the amphibious panel select. What does that give us? That gives us a gear selector. Where is that? Because I can't seem to find it. Because there should be a gear lever somewhere here. I didn't see it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So they've added this because there's a couple of exteriors for amphibious caravans in development that this mod will be made compatible with. So think of this more as a... I guess it does actually enhance the price a little bit more if this is not just going to be this and done. Like, this is not just the stock exterior and you are finished. This actually gives us the opportunity to use it with those features, which is cool. So we can turn that off. Now what we can do down here though is change to different avionics setups. So we have things like this, the 430. We can run a 430 and a 530. We can run the GTN 750. And what does this give us here? All sorts of different setups. So you can really personalize your radio stack here, which is really kind of cool. I like that a lot. Like, that to me is a really nice system. And we have the RNAV functionality, which is quite cool. I do appreciate that. A really nice little setup there. So let's give her a quick spin and see what she does for us right now as fuel valve is out. Parking brake is set. Okay, let's go for ignition on and start on. We're going to spool up here. Now we are going to see the propeller start turning, but it's not going to engage properly until it's done, but this will happen. We'll look for our value here on NG. It's spun up very quickly actually for us here, so let's give it that and let's give it some motion lotion. Engine's bitten. My engine sounds kind of quiet, but this is on the very quiet end of the scale when it's powered down like this. But let's pop this. Let's throttle up a second and we'll see if we can hear this. No perceptible difference. As far as I know, it's using the stock sound. So let's pull this back here. Let's make sure these are turned off now. Go, good to go. Okay, let's take her out for a quick run here. So let's quickly actually give us a flight plan, set origin. We are at KFRI. Destination will be KORS. It's not far away at all. Oh god, we're moving already. Oh my, yeah, this is why we put parking brakes on, boys and girls. God damn it. I'm an idiot. Okay, so, yeah. You know what, we're not going to mess around with that. We'll just do a quick loop around here. So, try and work out how to get back into the airfield. Oh, we're all the way outside the fence. We done screwed up big style here. This is why you leave your brakes on. Never leave the parking brakes off with the turbo, but they will run away with you. At least in this sim. So I'm going to taxi my way back to the runway, which is just up on our left after that little excursion. We're not going to talk about that. And we'll be back in just a moment here with this to do, as we have the runway right there. So let's set my flaps correctly for takeoff. Get ourselves up here. Now this is in no way comparable to the Milvis Porter or the SimWorks Kodiak in terms of a turboprop simulation. What it gives me is a much better version of the Caravan to fly, which I quite like, frankly, because I do like the Caravan, and I'm going to love the King Air when it's got steam. But it's steam with the nice modern options for navigation, so that is a good advantage for us. So, right, let's boot it here. It feels very quick, and of course the beta range implementation and normal kind of air idle is somewhat, wow, see, this kind of on the powerful side. They've done some fiddling with the handling, but it feels heavily overpowered. I'm not sure which engine is in this version, if it's the 1000 horsepower mod or it's the 750, but it's very quick, that's for sure. Now we are going to have to land downhill, so we're going to go out here and just do a keyhole turn and bring it back in. Because this isn't really about the flight dynamics as much as it flies very similarly, if not the same, to the stock Caravan, from what I have seen. Both of them are kind of wacky. Just default turboprop handling. Now they did make some changes to that in terms of how it's going to overall behave, but that's mostly on the engine kind of behaviour rather than actual overall performance of the aircraft. And in terms of systems, we do get things like the KDI 7252 DME, the GT X7327 sorry, transponder, the CAP 140, got the Benedict's RDR 1150 XL weather radar, the 750s of course, we've got the 530, the 430, the KR87 ADF, the KX155 Navcom radios, the usual kind of tree of equipment, and it all does work. There's a whole tutorial in the manual on using the RNAV system, by the way, and creating RNAV waypoints, which you can move, which are very cool. Alright, so let's bring around here. Why am I doing this with this? I've got my head to turn on here. Why am I using the hat switch? Which is what I'm doing when I'm just demoing the cockpit here in the aircraft. I'll pull the power back here, we'll bring it back round. It behaves like the stock Caravan. There's not too much to sell on that front, but I think I needed to at least get in the air at some point with this aircraft to really show that, but I'm going to put her in beta actually to slow down, because otherwise it doesn't really want to. I think I have flaps deployed still, so we'll just leave those in. Oh, it wants to eat the ground when you go into beta, which is kind of ridiculous, but we'll just let the power idle out there a second. I like this. I like the fact it's going to be compatible with those. And it's a very fine line that was written in the actual manual for this. It's not written in the description of the shop page, but the developer acknowledges there's at least 2 amphibious Caravans in progress in terms of development, and that this cockpit will work with them. And they're going to actively support those. That is a huge thing for me, because that means that could be a really cool development. We could see new features come to this, and opportunities. And, well, the King Air possibly has the same options. There's not a huge difference in the King Air cockpits, so we could reasonably see smaller versions of the King Air than the 350i that's in the sim by default. See, look at this speed. The speed's ridiculous here. Like, I'm genuinely speeding up to flat kind of limit speeds, and my throttle has not been below flight idle, which this does feel... The engine feels way more rapid and punchy than the actual stock one, which kind of concerns me. It flies very twitchy, it's very, very fast to accelerate. Hard to slow down. Really hard to slow down. Which does feel a bit off. Its deceleration definitely feels considerably off, but there you go. Here we are. Just bouncy, bouncy, lots of air. Like, it doesn't want to slow down unless I'm in beta, which then it drops its nose ridiculously, and... yeah, it does weird things. Now, that doesn't remind me too much of the default one, but... it seems to be a feature that I think is side to side. But flight handling is something that can be changed. I think it feels overpowered. It does feel really... the engine feels way more powerful and way less willing to slow down. They talk about it being a sim limitation in terms of how beta and kind of flight idle operate in turboprops, but I have definitely seen other turboprops that behave much more realistically in the deceleration portion and the engine behavior on that side. So again, not a turboprop expert. I'm talking about feeling and what I've seen with how the aircraft actually wants to behave, but I could be wrong. Okay? Now, I will say, if you are looking for something that really does give you that appearance of this kind of era of Caravan, it is a good add-on. I think it's possibly worth the money. I would definitely choose this to fly over the glass cockpit version. I think for the price of what we're seeing as a regular add-on price now, 20-ish pounds, perhaps I expected more. Maybe, you know, access the actual model of the Caravan and give the doors the ability to open. Did not notice a sound difference when I opened the storm window there. Would have maybe expected that. Sure, it's study level. All the systems function as they should. I don't know if the performance is as it should be. It doesn't feel that way. Now, when it comes to flight views, we only get those 2 there with the usual buttons, but if we go to control... oh, okay, that's interesting. Custom views do not exist. Control 5, Control 6, Control 7, nothing. Another thing that I might have expected for the price tag is tablet functionality. Give it the ability to customize various settings in there. Cold, dark, started, sim realism settings, that sort of thing. And if we are doing a custom interior, custom passenger or cargo loading, maybe a cargo interior would be something I would have expected. So I really love it. I want to say this is fantastic. I think it could have gone further. Perhaps it should have gone further. I don't like to be mean to people or mean to developers, and I think they've done a great job. I just think for the price it should have gone further. Now my voice is sore here and my mouth hurts. 2-3 days ago went missing. So I'm going to call this here, guys. Thank you for watching, and consider this my personal opinions only. And thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye.